Hey, this is Kat of Kattalestv. I just want to say it's 2017 and I haven't done a video in a while. I have to be honest, I was depressed. There was so much stuff going on in the world. There's a spider on my boots. Anyway, there was so much stuff going on in the world and dealing with the whole president-elect thing, and also the passing of some of my favorite performers, made me overwhelmed, as well as other things going on in my life. But I kept changing my hair color, try to feel better, but it was I love crazy hair, and I didn't always have the courage to do it, but that's what I was into for several months, is crazy purple hair, multicolor hair, whatever. It was fun, but I'm over it. But let's talk about something that gave me a lot of things to think about, and that was the fight, the UFC 207 fight between Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey. And first off, I want to say, I do not hate Ronda Rousey. I don't enjoy somebody losing per se. What happened to me was I was very frustrated, and I didn't like the way Amanda Nunes was being treated. She was the champion, current champion, and she got no press. And I thought, they're doing a lot of special treatment for, Ronda, who lost over a year ago. And she's with William Morris, just so you know. William Morris bought the UFC. There's a lot of very powerful people in Hollywood that are represented by William Morris. William Morris also represents Sylvester Stallone. Ronda Rousey was also in one of the Expendables movies. So there's a lot of, interconnectedness that's going on. But also, it brings up the issue about how much women are paid, how much, the pretty girl or the type that they want to promote is paid compared to a person who's the new champion. May not have the same pedigree, but is a hell of a fighter, how they're treated. And I just felt like Dana White just changed the whole game for Ronda Rousey in regards to the lead up to 207. Ronda didn't want to do press, so there was a press whiteout. And, other people have said, and rightly so, by them not doing press, that affected a lot of things like pay-per-view, possibly. Some of the media organizations that covered it, it's very expensive for them to travel to Vegas. Imagine planning one of the biggest fights, the biggest comeback of Ronda Rousey, and, your media company is paying money for you to fly there and travel there and stay in hotels, and you find out, oh, she's not going to do press, But what also about Amanda? Amanda's the champion. She gets no press, and then Dana comes on TV after the fight saying, I didn't have to spend $100 million on this fight, But they were thinking that Ronda was going to win. They had no idea that Amanda was going to win. I really believe that. They wanted a Rocky story. They wanted a Hail Mary, and they thought Ronda was going to win. So they thought, hey, we don't have to invest in Amanda Nunes. Well, why should we? It's all about Ronda. Yes, Ronda did bring female fighters to the UFC, and that's great. And she was a champion for a really long time. However, compare how Aldo was treated in comparison to Ronda Rousey. There seems to be a big difference. Let's also talk about how the men covering UFC call the women. I've seen so many shows where all these men, and I know the UFC is full of chauvinist pigs, I get it, but they call them girls. These are women fighters, yet they still call them girls. And, in our culture, a lot of times men, and even women do it, when they're trying to insult somebody, they say, oh, he hits like a girl, or he's a pussy. Everything negative is female, sort of. So what these guys are doing when they're calling these ladies girls, it's an insult. I'm sorry, it just is. I mean, imagine if a professional newscaster, reporter referred to LeBron James as a boy, or I don't know, Peyton Manning as a boy. You know what I'm saying? Someone would say it was disrespectful. But it's okay to call these amazing athletes girls, even though they're 28, 30, whatever they are. So that's a whole nother thing. But it just seems like the misogyny, which is prevalent in our society, it's just, yelling. It's like being yelled at with the UFC. It's so obnoxious. And also the way the men talk about, oh, these women, they're no good. They couldn't beat a man and stuff like that. Or, I can always beat a woman. That's what Joe Rogan said in one of his comedy routines. It's like he was talking about his wife. He's like, and his daughters, I could always take them out if I wanted to. That kind of joking is not necessarily funny to me, but I see that these guys really believe that. It's like it makes them feel good that they can beat up women in their back of their mind. Not saying they would, but it makes them feel good, which is a whole nother brain fuck. But let's get back to the point. I thought how Amanda Nunes was treated was totally unfair. She acted with class before the fight. She said it didn't bother her. She was a team player, She did a couple of interviews. But, she is the champion. Before the fight, right? Imagine you're the champion and you get no press because somebody decides they don't want to do press. Your opponent, who's not the champion anymore, who hasn't been seen in a year. And also you're getting pay-per-view points and this other person's not even promoting the fight. That affects your money. You know what I'm saying? If you don't care about Amanda Nunes and you don't care about the female thing, let's just talk about money. Imagine you're a fighter and your opponent doesn't want to do press and that's affecting your money. That would piss me the fuck off. So anyway, I didn't like the way Amanda was treated. But what was so amazing was when she got into that cage, well, she did a couple things that were amazing. One was the way she handled the press beforehand. She was calm, she was cool, and that press conference in the weigh-in when she put on that fucking lioness mask, that was boss. That was so cool, and she just looked at Ronda like, it's on. And then when she got in that cage, she turned her back on Ronda. There was Amanda Nunes was doing some amazing mind tricks. I loved it. And I just looked at Ronda with her face. She had that, it looked like to me that was all fake. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't believe that she was really hungry, that she really had that same passion. From the moment that I saw Amanda promoting that fight, I saw a person that was ready, willing, and able to win. You know what I mean? When I look at Ronda, I see someone who's like going through the motions but doesn't have the fire for it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean I don't like Ronda or anything. It's just what I see. But when she's in the cage, from the get-go, Amanda was on fire and she connected and she hit hard. That first hit was so hard. It was amazing. And Ronda was stunned. And also one of the things that it brought it up in my head was, because I'm always stunning. I'm a student of martial arts. I love it. And I've been hit a couple of times even when I used to do martial arts, but also I was robbed. And I hit my head. I didn't know where I hit my head, but I just remember being out of it for a while. And, when I watch these UFC fights, I try to figure out what I can do better, what I can learn from it. And one of the things I was thinking about is watching Ronda, how she was dazed, is something that might help other fighters is the fact that if you're doing training, when you're sparring, whatever, spin around really quick and then come out of it and go back to your kata or your boxing drills and see how fast you can recover. I think that might help you because when you're dazed, it takes a couple of seconds to get your feet back. And if you practice being dazed and then fighting to get to equilibrium, I think you'll be a better fighter. And you'll be aware when you're out of, you're not grounded. You know what I'm saying? So you can recover quick. So a lot of things that I do is learning how I can be better or how I can, move up another level faster. And one of the joys for me when I watch these fights is I learn so much. You know, it's just like amazing little things you can do by watching other people that are masters at what they do. It's amazing. But no, I'm not making fun of Ronda when I say, oh, she got knocked the fuck out. It was just that the fact that I really didn't like the way Amanda Nunes was treated. And I know what it's like to have a passion for something and have people not give you the credit you deserve or steal your fire, and then have rage build up. And I saw the rage in Amanda after the fight when she Ronda's coach, and then she told Joe Rogan, she's like, y'all keep talking about Ronda. Ronda's over. I'm the champion. She owned it. You know what I'm saying? Mad respect for Amanda Nunes. Mad fucking respect. She's a boss. She did a boss move. And, you know, one thing about the UFC, Dana always talks about, you know, anybody can be replaced. But he didn't feel that way about Ronda. I think they really believed Ronda was going to win. The sad thing is, on one level, yes, Dana, everyone's replaceable. And if they don't do press, they're replaceable. She got replaced by Amanda Nunes on a different level. And these fighters are exponentially getting better and better each fight because they're learning from each other. They're watching each other's fight. And as they're getting better, the viewers are getting better who love martial arts. So I just want to say to all the UFC people, thank you, because I'm learning so much. It's exciting to see these people give like 100%. You got to be in it or out of it. You can't be both. And I think that's what Ronda's finding out. You can't be doing all this other stuff and really want to be a champion. And I also believe you got a really good dick, you can't focus on fighting. It's hard. That's what I think. Trust. Because it's just like I hate to say it, women, we have emotions because we're caregivers, we're mothers, we're lovers, we're homemakers, some of us, we're business people, we have periods, you know, our hormones go up and down, so we're going to be more emotional than other people, and you have to check that. And when you have good love, sometimes it pacifies you, and that's nothing wrong with that. But as a fighter, it kind of counters out that energy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know what I'm saying. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But also, I just want to give a shout out to Ronda Rousey's mom. I think her name is Dr. DeMars. She's doing some amazing stuff, helping kids with mathematics, with computer games. So I have mad respect for Ronda's mom. She loves her daughter. She wants her healthy. She wants her happy. Like, you know, most moms who care about their children, the kids don't always listen. So I feel for Ronda's mom. I feel for Ronda. But I also want to say, you know, when someone's trying to give you good counsel, listen to them. Because her mom told everybody over a year ago she didn't think her coach was good. And she was right. But one of the flaws that we have when we are loyal to people, we don't know when to leave. In relationships, in business, you know, I've done it. I stayed around too long. I trusted people I shouldn't have trusted. So we all can learn from the situation. But give Amanda Nunes respect. It's annoying that, one, they call these women girls, and their pay is so different, not fair, and also they don't respect the media, because if the media is thinking they're going to get access to both stars, they deserve to get access to both stars. You can't have one star selling his fight and the other one sitting on their ass. So that's what I think. So 2017 is on. It's the year of the rooster, the year of the cock. Isn't that funny? On the day Trump gets inaugurated, it's the Chinese New Year of the rooster. So think about that. So this is Kattalestv. You can find me on the internet. Bye.